As you can tell, one of us is smiling, one of us is smiling on the inside. At least that's what I'm going to go with. He's smiling on the inside. You know, I want you to understand, let the record show, this is exactly how the hell I felt when you forced me to watch The Black Bachelor, because you made this deal with the devil that you wouldn't watch The Bachelor until they had The Black Bachelor. They introduced Matt James, and me being the great friend that I am, I said I'd watch it with you. So I did. I suffered through that bullshit. And then I invited you into my world, and you brought the sourpuss face as we start to watch Married at First Sight season 13. What the hell?
It's 3 hours, dude. The first show was 3 hours. The Bachelor was never that long. This is ridiculous. So let's just start there. That you text me like, hey, you watch it? I'm like, shit, I forgot. Yep, I'm going downstairs, leaving the office, the upstairs office, and going downstairs to turn TV on and watch it. And so as we're watching it, I'm texting you throughout the whole thing, and you're sending me stuff from Twitter. But then I realize it's 3 hours. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
I feel your pain. I'll be honest with you. I didn't expect it to be 3 hours. I think this is just because it was the first episode, and you and I are the only ones who are like, Jesus Christ, 3 hours. Because I think, I love following the hashtag MAFS, and one of the first ones that stood out to me was at Married at First Sight. 3 hours, you will pay for your crimes.
When you watch enough reality TV, and this is the issue I have with the show, or any of these reality shows. You know what's going to happen. You know they're going to drag it out with commercial breaks and all that. I'm like, why are we doing this to ourselves?
I feel, and the reason why we are is because, here we are recording this recap video. We'll do the Married at First Sight season 13 recap videos. And, we do have some folks watching along with us. We'll have some special guests join us throughout the season and get their views on it. Terryl, you watched the first 3 hours of this season.
Yep, I did.
Initial thoughts?
From a voluntold status, I watched the whole season. I watched the whole episode of this first season. So, yes, I did. So I will say that it's not as cheesy as I thought it was going to be compared to other reality shows. So I will say that I'm not going to watch it like on a regular basis going forward. I'm only doing this for you as a friend. Okay. I'm falling on the sword. But I took some time to watch it and just try to think and process it. And I thought to myself, I've had a lot of dating. I've done a lot of dating. You know that. And you got the guy Zach. I can relate to him in the sense that I've been looking for this like special thing, right? But all of these people have been very picky and very picky about what they're looking for, just very selective, and their selections are based on, from what I've just observed in episode 1, their selections are based on superficial bullshit. That I'm like, why is that important in a relationship? And I know you've been married, and once you once you jump the broom, you could shoot light out of your fingers and all that stuff. You have all these abilities that I don't have. But I watch this and I'm just like, this is stupid, because I see it both ways. One, I see the fact that you have some matchmakers that try and put people together. But then can people get out of the way of their own biases? Can people watch a show like this and really be very open-minded? And I'm just not sold that we can do that, because I can hardly do that. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to watch. So I'm going into this with an open mind. I think there are probably one couple that'll work out.
Only one couple. So I'm going to ask you which couple in a minute, because when I saw this, I thought if there was any one woman on here that if you were on the show they would match you with, it probably would have been Merla. Just because, you like a woman who works out, she likes to drink. She's bougie, self-proclaimed bougie. I mean, this sounds like a match already. And she likes to get her lashes done every week. We all know you have a standing appointment with the bar. I knew you would. Here's the funny thing. I knew you would like that.
Yeah, I liked it.
I think the one thing you wouldn't have been is that she was a party pooper. And I think that's the one. I don't know. I don't think you would have been, like, wait a minute, you got to have a little life.
I don't know. I dug her. I think she's great. The fact that she is so superficial and the bald-headed man is an issue for her, I think that she's not going to stick with that dude. I think that's going to be an issue for her, which is weird. The fact that is one of her deal breakers.
So who of these 5 couples, I'm going to name the couples, you tell me, make it or not. Merla and Gil.
I don't think it's going to work because Merla seems very superficial. Mm-hmm. And the whole no ball head thing is a big deal. I think it's going to be a deal breaker for her.
All right. You said Zach and Michaela. You think they'll have a good, good chemistry? Do you think they make it?
So here's what's funny. I want them both to. Just from listening to their stories, they both have very similar backgrounds. Mm-hmm. And I get why they partner them up. I just don't think that they're going to be the right fit. Because she is very driven. And it's not that he's not driven, but he's the artistic type. And artistic types, they don't have that, I want to reach a certain level of a position or title by X. Where you can tell she does. And for her, it's not title. For her, I think it's more about possessions and monetary things because of how she grew up, being very poor. I just don't see them two working out. I want them to. I totally get why they matched them. I just don't think it's going to work.
Why? Because they're both black?
No. I'm going to do that.
I saw somebody say on Twitter, I don't see them making it because Zach doesn't give that BDE. And Michaela's definitely all about it. You can tell by her bachelorette party. So, and especially when she was like, I told my other guy that, I've matched, so we're over.
I just don't see them working out. But I mean, I want everybody on this show, as dumb as I think this is, I want them to find what they're looking for or learn something from it. I just don't see Michaela changing.
Okay, so let's move on. We've got 3 more. Johnny and Bao. I think you kind of said already that you don't think they're going to make it, right?
I don't think Johnny and Bao are going to make it, no, because I think they're both too similar.
Okay. How about Rachel and Jose?
I got to watch a couple more episodes. I didn't get enough today for me to say they're not going to work out. It's
a basic introduction to them, and Ryan and Brett.
But the fact that there wasn't a lot of information on them tells me the producers think the same. And so that's why we're doing this.
So I'm going to have to give the winners of these first 3 episodes and squeezed into one, a.k.a. 3-hour episode, which never do that again. You could have cut a lot of that fluff out, first of all. But the experts, they won because they got us to sit down here and watch this shit for 3 hours, right? But also, if you remember, Merla said no bald heads, and she wanted a beard. And they gave her a bald-headed man with no beard.
No beard.
And then Bao said, nobody that I know. I don't want to date anybody that I know. I don't want to marry anybody that I know. And they gave her someone that, guess what? She knows. So the experts are definitely the winners in this episode. And another one would be that women's probiotic commercial about pooping, and they wouldn't let them say that women poop.
Well, women don't poop. At least the women I date, they don't shit. They don't do number 2s. It's all number 1s only. That's it.
No, when a woman gets real comfortable around you and she trusts you, she'll poop around you.
Oh, no. I've been hotboxed before, and that's another reason why they're not around. Where they left, they put a floater in the big tub, and we're not friends. But it happens. But I just,
So if you got
when you said that, it triggered me. It made me think about that instance where I'm like, this girl literally took a shit in the I don't even know what you call it of the toilet, but it wasn't in the right box. Let's just say that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the top part.
Yeah.
Where they put the. Okay, there's so many questions. There's so many questions. So many questions. I've got to ask you about it, but look, after this 3-hour episode, we can't even unpack that right now.
Nope,
we'll be back every week doing this because you know what? I sat through the Black Bachelor with you because that's what friends do, and I know you're doing the same thing here with me with Married at First Sight because you know what? We ride together, we die together.
Okay. You gotta stop patting yourself on the back.
What finished with me?
Like really? You must do yoga for the way that you pat yourself on the back so easily. That's I'm just like, don't act like you're being all altruistic and doing something awesome to help the world. You're watching a bullshit show that you would normally watch that I hate. Yes. And even though The Bachelor, it sucked too. But after the thing I can say about The Bachelor is there was not a 3-hour season premiere. This was a 3-hour season premiere. This is 3 hours of my life you took away from me. all in one night. I don't mind if I have to watch this show once a week. That's an hour. But 3 hours for a intro for the season, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, do better, Lifetime. I gotta agree with you because I was like, wait, 3 hours? What the hell? So
yeah. And it's only showed one wedding. It'd be one thing if they like knocked all 5 weddings out.
Exactly.
In 3 hours. They didn't. And I'm just like, this is bullshit. Which means it's every Wednesday is going to be a time suck and drag from my life.
Well, next week they should knock out all the other 4 weddings, and then we'll be on to the honeymoon, and we can make predictions as to who's gonna do it on the first night and all that stuff, and who's gonna have the first argument, all that good stuff. We'll have all those arguments. I mean, we can do the first kiss.
Johnny and Bao, they're fucking. they're gonna hit that tonight. It's gonna happen.
Well, we'll find out.
And then
we'll find out in 2 episodes.
after the afterglow, she's gonna see how he has the same color shirts all in a row, same color jeans all in a row, and all these other things. I'm like, why would you marry somebody like that? Unless you're okay with adapting, because she's gonna realize he's crazy. But I think they're gonna sleep together.
All right, so we got one
because there's already been pre-sexual tension between them.
Yep.
The fact that they knew each other in college, and so I think that's why I feel they're gonna go first night. It's on.
I can't wait, and I think you're gonna buy in. I know you're not all sold because of this 3-hour premiere, but it's okay. I know halfway through the season you'll be ready to go. 1 episode, aka 3 in 1 down, and how many ever more to go? Season 13, lucky number 13. It's Regular Guys Random Thoughts, Married at First Sight, recaps.
Before you close this out, I just wanted to say, fuck you for making me watch this shit. I just want to make sure that we're clear.
Not even in your wildest dreams, homie.